TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top-flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
It was a blessing, such a blessing to be able to have guys to respond the way they did. Like you said, didn't start the trip off the way we would like, but gritty and gutsy win here in the Garden against a tough defensive team.
Any update on Dion? You go to the ankle in the second half. Come back. Where is he at?
Right ankle sprain. He'll be evaluated, but that's all we got.
And was there a point in the fourth quarter where you decide whether or not to put him back in? Was that an option for you guys?
No, it wasn't an option.
And just the night Jose had, coming back home, being able to play the way he did, describe what it was like seeing him play the way he did tonight.
Jose was fantastic. The moment he entered into the game, he changed it with his effort, his physicality, picking up full court, his energy, and then that led to his ability to spark us on the offensive end as well. And we talk about it as a team, but the basketball finds energy, and Jose came in and gave us a huge lift off the bench tonight.
And it's clear that his teammates have really embraced him and really like what he brings to the table. Why do you think he's able to ingratiate himself so quickly?
He's just a good dude. Loves being around his teammates, always pretty positive, but he's honest, and he works extremely hard. He's the first guy in the gym. He's usually the last guy to leave the facility, and he puts the time in and put the work in, and the guys respect that.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were really able to frustrate the Knicks today. They just seemed to be out of sync. What did you guys do to kind of put them in that way?
We're working on trying to not allow teams to get downhill and get into the paint and force them to have to shoot tough contested shots all night. That was the game plan. We know R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Fournier, and those guys, they can shoot threes, but they also can attack the paint, and that's where they get everything. And I thought our guys tonight did a great job of being physical, number one. We did a great job communicating on defense, and then we were flying around out there.
All right, let's go to Zoom.
Hey, Willie, what did you think the biggest difference was? It seemed like the first 18 minutes or so kind of played out the same way it did in Boston on Monday. What did you think the biggest difference was from your guys tonight in how they handled that?
It's just learning experiences. In Brooklyn, we didn't have a great first half, and then we turned around and had a really good second half, but we had dug ourselves in a hole. In Boston, we started off the game in the first half, and we played well. The ball was moving. And then we talked about it as a team that we have to be more consistent. And tonight, credit to our guys, they did that. They came out, and for the most part, they put together a 48-minute game. Fourth quarter could have been a little better, but give the Knicks credit. They put the young guys in, those guys quickly, and Toppin and those guys, they climbed up in us defensively. They put their hands on us. They were aggressive, and it took us out of the things that we wanted to run. But I thought we made some execution plays down the stretch, which gave us the win.
Two questions from me. Jose, winning ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 6 feet tall, is already worth his way into the rotation here. What do you just think about the competitive fire he plays with?
I love it. It jolts our team. We're fortunate to have Defensive Player of the Year, Jose in his conference, Herb as well, Gary Clark. We got some defensive-minded guys, but Jose was great. Especially being back home in front of his family and friends. You can see he wanted it. He wanted to get that win, and he wanted to play well, and he did.
And then when you guys made that run in the third quarter, it seemed like a lot of the offense flowed through Brandon. Just what do you think about the playmaking he was able to do in that quarter?
Terrific. All the things that we talk about, we show on film, we work at when we're on the floor in practice. Brandon, he's been unbelievable. And we're just continuing to try to put him in situations where, either he can score or he finds his teammates and guys continue to make the next best play.
What did you think of just it seemed like there was a combination of ways that you guys were able to get easy baskets or get baskets right at the rim, whether it was Jonas kind of planning himself right in front of the basket or some of the other guys that had fast break layups. I mean, what did you think of just how successful you guys were doing that?
Well, that's the transition game is one of our strengths. When we can get stops, we can rebound the ball and play in the open floor. It allows us to be at our best offensively. And then to your point, we're fortunate to have Brandon who can make plays on the perimeter, Devontae, Josh's driving ability. And then you have Jonas who, can settle us down and we can throw the ball into the post. So we're fortunate to be able to have those guys do that.
As far as Jose goes, how much do you think, just as he's gotten more playing time, his comfort level on offense has improved? I mean, he was great on offense in addition to the other stuff that he did.
He's getting better and better. The more he plays, the more comfortable he'll get. But the important thing for Jose, and he knows this, is just keep the game simple. We try to make sure we continue to play with a 0.5 mentality. He was great tonight, making plays for his teammates. When he had open looks, he takes them. And then defensively, he was just all over the place. So I think he'll continue to get more and more comfortable as time progresses.
Yeah, we talked about Devontae after the Boston game. He started off 4-7 in that first half. What was it like to see him come alive when he did in that third quarter when y'all started to really stretch out that lead?
Big time on his part in the second half. He hit some huge shots for us. He's dealing with some bumps and bruises right now, and we got to, get back home and get healthy and get some rest. But I thought, he had some really good looks in the first half. They just didn't go in. And in the second half, he was a little more aggressive, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, and some shots went down for him.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Pelicans, man, get the win. Pelicans halt Knicks 102-91. And also they halt that 2-game losing skid they were on as well. As the Pelicans get a good road win against the New York Knickerbockers, even at series at 1 apiece. That's the final game. So welcome to this installment of the Pelican post-game report. Go Pels. To the fam, I appreciate y'all for being in the live stream. Much love to you as we gonna do this thing. So much love. We got my dog DC chiming in after Coach Willie dropping the science. The DC's on the road. DC, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm good. How you?
Can't complain a lick, bro. We got the win, and that was a big part of it, man. Getting the win, and this one is the Pelicans stop the slide, the 2-game losing streak, and get a good win on the road against the Knicks. Let's talk about that, DC.
The Pelicans that flew off with them goddamn Knickerbockers, Q.
Yeah.
We came in there, man. And, it was a good team win, family. I mean, when you look at this game, you can obviously point to some players that had good games, but nobody blew you away statistically with our team. But what we did see is maximum effort and just people doing all the little things, man. I mean, this is probably, I think, maybe one of the lowest attempts in 3-pointers we probably shot all year. And we went out and dominated this game, man. We went there with a mindset to not turn the ball over, knowing that the Knicks are a team that doesn't turn the ball over. So you definitely can't go and play against them and beat yourself. And we got out to a real good start. And obviously they made a run in the second quarter, tied the game back up, and then we took off again, going into the third quarter, and kind of the same type of thing happened in the fourth, where they tried to come back and get back in the game, and we were able to sustain and hold them off, man. So a good quality win, man. I like how we won this game because it was multiple different things. I mean, they were trying so hard to keep the Knicks in the game. They were dominating us on the free throws, and we were able to get past that and come out with a victory, man. So you got a lot of guys tonight. Jose was amazing. All his family in the stands. Shout out to Josh Hart and BI for what they've been doing for him. Paying for his people to come to the games when we played at the Nets. Josh Hart did that, and tonight at the Knicks, and you seen BI give his jersey to one of his family members. So it's just a beautiful thing, man, that you love to see for a team like us, where we're still trying to scratch and claw, stay in this thing, man, fight for a playoff spot, or possibly a playoff spot, but definitely a play-in spot. So good team win.
Let's get into the final team statistics here. Pelicans 38 of 76 for 50% shooting from the field. Knicks 29 of 77 for 38%. When you round it all, 3-point shooting for the Pelicans. 11 of 28 for 39.3%. The Knicks were 9 of 38. Ridiculous. For almost 24% free throw. Pelicans 15 of 22 for 68.2% versus the 36 attempts the Knicks got home. 24-36 for 67%. Knicks did have the advantage in terms of the rebounds, 48-35, 14 of which were offensive. Pelicans were getting close to that 30 told that they like to assist the ball around. They had 27 versus 21 by the Knicks. 10-6 on the steals, advantage Pelicans. 5-2 on the blocks, advantage the Knicks. Pelicans only 12 turnovers on the night, with 14 points off versus 15 by the Knicks with 19 points off. 14-9 fast break points, Pelicans. 46-38 points in the paint, Pelicans. 25 was the largest lead. Knicks at one time led by as much as 2. But it's a part of the game, man, like you spoke about, them having opportunities, but the Pelicans just seized the day in this one, man, and made it happen. Like the first half was cool, and then, of course, they came out in the third quarter and blasted the bloody blue blazes out of the Knickerbockers, and they were able to kind of build that team, holding them at 91 points while the Pelicans put up 102. And we improved, right, man. We improved. DC, if you want to touch on those, one or more team statistics, I know you already just did and talked about a few things. Feel free to throw out one, and then we'll move on to the individuals.
Well, I'm gonna throw out 2, actually, man. And I mean, it's pretty simple because we can look at our field goal percentage, basically 50%. And you could add the 3-pointers in there if you want to add that. That's 39%. To them, 37 and 23. And the other stat I want to show out, it don't actually show us winning the game, but it was surprising to me still, the fact that we only had 35 rebounds and they had 48. People got 14 offensive rebounds, Q.
I know.
You hear me, family? 14 offensive rebounds. And we found a way to win this game. So that just lets you know all the other things we were doing, things that don't show up on the stat sheet. We got the 10 steals, there's 6. So that's about 4 or 5 stats I'd have rattled off, Q. But the whole point is just looking at that 35-48, those rebounds, man, just shows you how good the Pels played tonight as a team overall with all of basketball. Our defense was stellar. Our rotations were great, and we were facilitating the ball and moving it really well as a team, man, and playing ball the way we're supposed to play it.
Yeah, that we did do. Let's get into the individual statistics here from the Pelicans in the matchup. Pels did their thing. 17 from Hart in the game, but the top man was Big V. He led the effort. 18 points in 33 minutes from Big V. 8 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a couple of assists for Big V. He led the effort. 17 from Josh Big Hart, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Struggled at the line, man. Our percentage would have gotten a lot better, but he was kind of struggling shooting the charity stripe. 5 of 9. He finished with 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, plus 15 on the plus minus. Josh Hart did his thing. Then 2 15-point scorers in the starting lineup as BI had 15 points in 27 minutes of action. 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 4, 1 of 1 from downtown. He was 6 of 8 from the field, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal for BI. And of course, you look at what Graham did in the matchup. He was 15 points in 28 minutes, 5 of 16 from the field, 4 of 10 from downtown. He finished with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist by him, and 11 points from Herb in 37 minutes of action. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Herb does it all in his matchup. 5 of 7 from the field. He was 1 of 3 from downtown. And the Pelicans bench with Jose Alvarado, the Desperado, with 13 points and 20 minutes of action. 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown. He finished with 13 points, 4 assists, 4 steals in the matchup, and a plus 12 in his plus minus. Alvarado is solidifying that thing in NAW in 24 minutes. Only 4 points and 3 rebounds, 4 assists for him.
Not gonna come back and be the
Santa
backup point guard?
Ransky is over. And of course, you've seen what happened. The 3 points for Clark in the matchup, and the Knicks obviously are having their issues as Julius Randle had a disastrous game. He was really off in this one. 1 of 9 in 29 minutes of action. He was 0 2 from downtown. He had 4 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. Not going to happen. 217 points from Robinson.
I think somebody snuck that Monstars basketball on Julius Randle this year, Q.
Yeah, Julius, man, sticking middle fingers up and cussing at Knicks people. And I mean, he's been doing a lot going on for Julius Randle. 17 points for Robinson, the Shell Met product was 17
Robinson
points.
out school with Julius Randle, that's crazy.
17 and 15 from him. 17 from RJ Barrett in the matchup. 14 off the bench from Quickly. 13 from Burks and 13 from Grimes. And of course, we ain't see DC's man out there as of yet. But anyway, let's talk about the individuals, DC. Who you got?
Jose. Yeah, man. You know, when you look at the game, he's definitely one of those guys that jump out at you, bro. Him and BI. BI definitely really set the tone, though, you know, out the gate. Just the way he was facilitating the ball didn't always end up in an assist every time, but you could tell BI was looking to draw the defense in, man, and just make the right play. And that's one of the main reasons on offense we were able to execute at the efficient level that we did, man. Just smart basketball play by BI. He got hurt in the game, so hopefully he'll be all right moving forward on that. I think he tried to block one of Grimes' 3-point attempts, and their legs kind of got tangled up. And he looked like he just rolled his ankle. So hopefully it won't be too bad. You know, a lot of times you could just wrap that up, stay off of it for a few days, and hopefully BI should play Saturday. But yeah, man, the brother gave you 15, 5, and 6 with a steal, you know. He did have 3 turnovers, so there was a part in the game where they kind of put the pressure on BI, and things got a little rough, and they went on a 10-point run. But other than that, man, BI played stellar. He shot 4 for 10, so obviously that could have been a little better, and 40% at the end of the world. But it was more of the way that he controlled the game, moving people around, telling them where to go, hitting guys on passes, man. Just great to see, man. Great to see. So my other guy, obviously, Jose, man, you said it. 4 steals, man. 4 steals, 4 assists, 13 points. And some timely big shots, too, when we needed them. So he had all his people in there watching. It's Madison Square Garden. The brothers from New York. It's a lot of pressure, and you saw what he did. I love that. That let me know you're a gamer. That let me know he can handle adversity. He can handle pressure, and he's up for the challenge, man. We may have our backup point guard for the time being. So, liking what I saw from Jose, he definitely left his fingerprints all over this game, and he was a big reason that we won the game. Because as you can see, the Pelicans were up by as much as 25 or I think 27 points or something like that, and the Knicks got it down to 10. Well, guess who was helping close out the game? Jose. Yeah. So that's my dude, and you definitely give a shout out to JV and Josh Hart. They came and did their thing as usual. JV got another double. Josh Hart shows up, has a stellar game, 17, 6, 7 and 4. And man, Herb Jones does what Herb Jones does, Q.
Yep.
Just gives you 11, four rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. That's all.
Everything.
Normal
Everything.
Herb Jones stat line, the model of consistency. So this overall game, good game from all our starters. Even Devontae, he started off horribly, and he came out after halftime, and he went on a 12-point run all by himself, man. Well, we scored 35 points in that quarter, and it was a big part of that was him. So even got to give shout out to Devontae, and noticing his game was a little off, and we do got to remember, I think his knee or his ankle or something's banged up on him, so he had a little issue he was trying to overcome too. But that's my guys though, man.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Pelicans playing with a lot of they played with a lot of heart in this one, man. And they did at one time. The Knicks try to come back in that thing late, but the Pelicans shut the door in their face and made them take them smell ass Knickerbocker shoes off and throw them in the water. But it was really cool, man, to watch the Pelicans get a good, well-deserved win on the road, man, to get back on the right side of things. So after the Boston debacle. So let's talk about that, DC. We didn't do the Boston recap. Let's touch on that quick and give our analysis on the Boston debacle before we go into the next news thing.
Let's look at that. Oh, we always got to find a way to bring in some depression now when everything's high. Going into this Boston
not
game.
Not at all, my friend.
The Pelicans were actually looking pretty good, early in this Boston game, and I don't know if they remembered it was 11:30 or something like that. I don't know, man. It just kind of fell off a cliff, throughout this game.
It was early, yeah.
Yeah. We did okay before halftime, and we just came out of halftime and got blown out the water, man. Led by their second unit, they kind of got them back in the game, and this to me was ultimately a game that we needed. Obviously, we're not out of contention, competing for that playing spot or playoff spot, but this Boston team, in my opinion, I just don't feel like they're a better overall team, top to bottom, than the Pelicans. Yes, they have some talented pieces. A lot of those guys were out. Marcus Smart was missing. What's the shot blocker they have? I forgot that brother's name. Williams or something, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Ferocious shot blocker for them, man. He was out. They were missing a couple of guys, man. I think I'm missing somebody else they were missing. But they let Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown go out there and torture, man. Boston gonna pretty much go ISO and play one-on-one basketball. Dennis Schroeder gonna do his thing a little bit too. And that was a little too much for us, man. We had a definite mismatch with JV that we couldn't make the most of, man, and exploit to the fullest. If JV would have probably got more touches, or maybe been able to be a little bit more efficient, the Pelicans probably would have been able to get this game.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought they probably should have most certainly beat the Boston Celtics. Celtics were vulnerable, and we just let them off the hook. But it still feel good to get the win against the Knickerbockers tonight and be able to trounce them and get them the hell out of our face. So, I mean, much love to the Pelicans on that as they accrue. That's 17 wins on the season, DC. Next up, we got the Pacers. We got the Pacers, and that'll be home. Pelicans come back home, and that'll be and we got a few days. It's a couple of days before that Pacer matchup, so they're gonna have an opportunity to get some rest here because that game is not up to the 24th, and today is the what 20th? Is that right?
Wait, it's oh yeah, that's right. Why was I thinking we played Saturday, man?
No, it's the
They throw this
24th.
Philly game throwed everything off for me, man.
Yeah, that's the next the next game against Indiana won't be until the 24th there. So
Right.
yeah. So let's peek into that one, DC, as we take a look at the matchup. Of course, there's all kind of trade rumors swirling around Sabonis. But he's the top guy there. He's doing it all for him. As you can see, most of the majority of the major statistics, he sits on top of them. 19 points a game on almost 58% shooting from the field, 12 rebounds a contest on some big V type stuff. Sabonis is also the top assist man with 5 a game in 35 minutes of action. So Sabonis is running the show for him. He's doing his thing.
He must doing everything, huh?
Doing it all. Ingram, 23
he playing
points.
so good, Q. They just decided they're going to go ahead and trade him, huh? I never understand some franchises, bro.
Well, just because it's swirling around them don't necessarily mean that, they'll move them, But
I mean, what there's smoke, there's fire, man. And we've been hearing this pretty much for going on maybe, about two and a half seasons now about them trading Sabonis?
Yeah.
So
It's a
might
bunch
be
of
right.
them. Turner,
I don't know.
I keep hearing all kind of stuff. Turner to the Lakers that team is just they trying to shake them loose. Big V is our top guy, rebounding. Of course, BI is the top assist man right there. And they have a bevy of different things going on. As you can see, Turner out, McConnell out, Sabonis out, LeVert out, Brogdon out, and we'll flip into the injury report because this game is not to the 24th. They've got a handful of days left, and most of this stuff could change going into it, DC.
That's pretty much most of their starting lineup, Q.
That's in most of the impactful players anyway. 16-29 is the Pacers record. 4-17 on the road. Pelicans sitting up there at 17-28. 10-11 as they getting a lot better at home, getting more comfortable in the surroundings of the Smoothie King Center, baby. So with that being said, DC, let's get into this one and find out what's, this to me, this is, I ain't gonna disrespect the Pacers, but they appear to have a flat tire. So let's see what's going on with the Pacers. We should be able to get this one over there, man.
Yeah, we definitely should. Obviously, first off, you got to figure out who's playing for one. But even if all of these guys are out, I guess it would go to Chris Duarte. Their rookie has actually been playing pretty well. So we would probably have to game plan for him. And obviously, if all of these guys are gonna miss the game, we should get the dub. You know what I mean? But things don't always go like that. So let's just assume Domantas Sabonis is playing. I'll say that much. And this is going to be a tall task for us because we have to find a way to defend him. Hopefully, JV can handle that. But if not, then we had a severe mismatch with a guy like Herb Jones. Are you looking at throwing Josh Hart on him? And pretty much similar to the night, what you heard Antonio Daniels talking about, as far as Herb not being thick enough and Josh Hart not being tall enough. Sabonis is, I believe, about 6'10", if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that's gonna get his. So we're gonna need Big V to do his thing. But at the same time, we would also need to get that double-double we normally get out of Big V as well. Unless you get a complete stellar game out of BI, you talk about 35, 33 points, something like that. You still gonna need Big V to give you that scoring, man. So a lot will be on him, assuming that most of these guys suit up and they're not all out. That would be the main focus, man. How do you slow down Domantas Sabonis? And then, the Pacers do have a collection of guys that are pretty capable as far as hitting shots when he kicks it to them out of double teams and whatnot. So we're going to have to play very sound, fundamental basketball. In a lot of ways, Q, we're pretty much going to have to do what we did against the Knickerbockers. I think defense is the basically staple of the Pelicans, in my opinion. I think we play at our best when we focus on that side of the ball and we let our offense come to us. And I don't think this game will be any different with the Indiana Pacers, whether they have Sabonis in or not. or the rest of these guys, you still just got to go out there and handle your business, play sound fundamental basketball, and the Pelicans are capable beating pretty much anybody. It's for real. No turnovers, the 2-1 assists, and we put ourselves in the game, man. Just don't beat yourself, and we should walk out with a victory against the Pacers.
Yep, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, I definitely agree with that. That this is definitely a winnable game for the Pelicans. They should be able to take it to the Pacers in this one. I don't know if all those players will be out. I'm pretty sure they should get some of those guys back 4 days from now to challenge it. Right now, Pacers is taking on taking on the Golden State Warriors right now, and Golden State is beating them in the less than 60 seconds in the third quarter. The Golden State Warriors are winning 80-78. So at least they're giving them a fight right now. And Duarte, as you call him, is the top man for them. So yes.
Hey, he a stud, Q. We know about him.
Yeah, I know.
The
We know
family in
about
the chat know about him. A lot of people was talking about us drafting Duarte, and it ain't a doubt in my mind that if he would have been there at 17, we probably very much would have took him over Trey Murphy III. And speaking on that, Pelicans Noel, I see your question, man. You're asking me what's up with Trey Murphy III. And I think it's more of a thing where the team has good chemistry. If you've been paying attention, the last 6, 7 games or so, our bench has actually been coming alive, and they haven't been, a thorn in our side, so to speak. Jose is actually making it even better. Jackson Hayes has been playing better. Mr. Clark, that old principal from Lean On Me, he doing this thing from the 3-point line, man. The brother was shooting almost 50%, so you can't just take him out of there, So I think Trey Murphy is pretty much a product of circumstance as far as that, and when he's been given minutes, as far as the 5 minutes here, 3-4 minutes there, I don't think he looks atrocious, but it's clear that he's not ready. He's still too stiff. I think he's a little uptight, maybe a little nervous, maybe trying too hard, all of these type of things. But I love his attitude, his enthusiasm. He's a good teammate. He's there cheerleading, doing the best he can to make sure his teammates do what they do. Maybe at some point we see him get some summer league minutes. I don't understand why he's not in the summer league, but I do like everything I've seen from Coach Willie Green. So I just gotta believe that whatever they're doing will eventually pay off, and whatever they're doing to work with him is the best situation at hand. But hopefully he's in there getting up some shots with Fred Vincent along with Herb Jones. If I was them, I'll try to have him follow Herb Jones around, man. Maybe some of that defense will rub off on him, because we thought Trey Murphy would be a good defensive guy as well, but his transition has been real rough. And maybe he's just the guy that is just going to take until year 2, man. I mean, a lot of players are like that as rookies. Everybody can't be Herb Jones, and they don't hit it out the park all the time their rookie year. And I also noticed, like I said before with him, he's a little, I wouldn't say timid, because I don't feel like the man is scary, but he's still a kid, maybe, or some things like that. But if you watch the Pelicans episodes and you see their interactions as a team and the different things that go on with Trey Murphy and Devontae Graham, it's obvious that they're trying to toughen him up a little bit, giving him a little tough love, being tough on him. He's the rookie that's getting picked on, this, that, and the third. So I don't know how all of that's affecting him, but he probably has confidence issues. So they're going about it the way they're going to try and help build his confidence and get him to be the player that we know he's capable of and definitely has the potential to be.
Yeah, most concerning about Trey Murphy, man. Really concerned about Trey Murphy. To the point where, he's didn't think that it would go like this. I mean, let me tell you something. I didn't expect him to be a superstar by any count, but
right,
really thought that coming into the season, you see Trey Murphy and Herb Jones kind of move together and progress together. Totally not the case. Herb Jones explodes on the scene. Trey Murphy is still trying to figure it out. And we'll see how it all goes, man. But I've heard rumors circulating about him, and and it's just rumors, man. It's just rumors. So let's get into that aspect of it, DC. Let's talk about the
Uh-oh.
trade then. Let's get into it.
Who going and who coming, huh?
Well, let's break it down. Let's get into it. And this is from our good friends over there at the Pelican Report. As they said, starting day, we're going to break down different players the Pelicans can target heading to February the 10th trade deadline. First, we're looking at the guard position. The Pelicans have lacked consistency for several years, while Devontae Graham's gravity and late game shot making ability have been extremely valuable this season. He's struggled from an efficiency standpoint as well as getting to the rim. He's been relied on too heavily as an offensive engine and will likely perform a lot better in a scaled down role with elevated pressure to score. Alleviated. The Spurs are the team that I've immediately had the conversation about with Murray and maybe Derek White's availability. The Pelicans would immediately be able to plug in either as a starting point guard. They should also look at current disgruntled guard De'Aaron Fox, the King guard, at potentially discounted price if Sacramento is desperately looking to move on from him. Of course, there are reports indicating that the Sacramento Kings did say that they don't want to trade De'Aaron Fox. So we just have to keep it going and just keep it certain.
Man,
keep
nobody
it
buying that big Q. They said the same thing and then proceeded to trade DeMarcus Cousins to us.
Well, we'll see. All right. So, and of course, while this has become less of a need with the emergence of Jose Alvarado, Pelicans can look to acquire a savvy veteran point guard to bring off the bench and set the table for others. Lastly, with the bench scoring ranking amongst last in the league, wouldn't hurt to acquire a microwave scoring type of guard to bring off the bench as needed. Most of those guys will be able to be absorbed in the $3.9 million Nico Melli trade exception. As well, should all of the top targets fall, though, a Frank Jackson reunion wouldn't be a bad fallback option. Okay, let's look at some of the people that he has. The table setters.
That would be weird. I mean, what would we give up to get Frank Jackson back?
I don't know. Let's take a look at some of these table setters at point guard. Monty Morris, 3 years at $27 million from Denver. McLaughlin, 3-year deal with $6 million there. You see DJ Augustine, which is another guy that we talked about bringing him home. Corey Joseph's another interesting option. They got Ish Smith, the former Pel. D-line Wright is there. Tyus Jones, Campazzo, Raul Neto, and Skylar Mays on a two-way deal. So that's a couple of the non-flashy point guards, DC.
Okay.
There. I do like Monty Morris. I don't know if
I like Monty Morris.
Denver gives.
Campazzo
I like
too.
him. Campazzo's cool.
And Augustine as well.
He would be cool to bring home. I mean, to bring home here. But this is a couple of the
Cap.
guys.
They ain't all bums, Cap. Come on now. You talking about quality bench guys, but they ain't bums,
bench,
man.
Right. These are bench guys.
These are bench guys, Cap.
Now let's get into the rest of the microwave scorers at point guard. Kobe White, 2-year, $13 million. Trey Burke, 2 years.
What, hold up, Q. Well, how did they got Kobe White up there on the trade? I don't get that. Why would the Bulls want to trade Kobe White?
Well, I mean, DC, there have been trade speculation circling around Kobe White. So that's not nothing new, to be honest with you. They are trade rumors circulating around Kobe White. So, and of course, Frank Jackson, you see him there, Shake Milton, Gabe Vincent, Goran Dragic 1 year at $19.4 million. Schroeder's there and Austin Rivers. We cool on him. Potential diamonds in the rough at point guard. Malachi Flynn. You got Maladon right there.
Malachi Flynn is pretty good.
You got Maladon right there. You got Javon Carter, Ty Jerome, and Aaron Holiday.
Why your dude not up there, man?
Oh man, they're not gonna move him.
Where's Mr. Brunson? The Knicks,
not,
I believe the Knicks went at him trying to get him. Q.
Brunson, they're not gonna get.
Yeah.
They're not gonna turn him loose. And I'm telling you,
the Knicks tried to get him. Is all I'm saying. I ain't saying.
I hear you. I hear you. That's what I'm saying. They ain't gonna. They know what they got there. Lone shots at point guard for the Pelicans. De'Aaron Fox, 5 years at 163. Marcus Smart, 5 years at 91. Derek White, 4 years at 67.
Okay, I like that.
TJ McConnell, another one of those.
That.
4 years at 34. Scrappy player.
He fit
Fred,
real good. 4 years, 34 million too, boy. Get him, boy.
3 years, 64 million. Fred Van Vliet. They ain't gonna turn him loose. JaJonte Murray at 3 years, 50 million. Of course, he said no. Van Vliet has a $23 million player option for 23-24 year. TJ McConnell may miss the remainder of the season with a wrist injury on McConnell. So that's a few
So what?
of the names right there. So long shots, as you can see there, De'Aaron Fox and Marcus Smart sits on top of that list. Diamonds in the rough, you see Malachi Flynn with Maladine right there, and Drew Holiday's brother, Aaron Holiday, bringing up the
I
list.
actually like him too, man. Aaron Holiday is a pretty good player.
Microwave scorers, they got Kobe there, Trey Burks there, you got Dragic and Schroeder there, and of course you see the table setters at guard, Monty Morris. I do like Monty Morris. I don't know if Denver turns him loose though. But and like you say, you mentioned Campazzo, who's not a bad player either. So Corey Joseph, I think I don't know. I think wasn't Corey Joseph in no, that was another guard I'm thinking about. But anyway, this is a list of some of the people, DC.
Corey
Let's talk
Joseph
about
got outplayed by NAW to me, and what that was Team Canada, I believe they was on together. But I like the initial last guys you named. I think any one of them a fit. I wouldn't be the biggest fan of Marcus Smart, not because he's not good and he wouldn't fit with teams, because we're looking at point guards. I don't consider him a great table setter or facilitator. Obviously, he can pass and do some of that. Just would rather have somebody else for that money. Feel like we have guys that are similar to what he does, and like a Herb Jones and a Josh Hart. Wouldn't hurt having one more. But everybody else you name, man, if we can get any one of those guys, as far as if we get, especially without giving up Josh Hart, I don't know how you would do that to get Fox, to get the brother Murray or White from the Spurs. I'd take Dennis Schroeder at this point. Your guy you got up there on the screen, Monte Morris, is definitely a player that I would like to have. TJ McConnell, we could go with that one either too. I wouldn't be mad at getting Kobe White either. I mean, we just need somebody. Who can we get without having to give up like a Josh Hart, man? I mean, who can we get? That's the question. And how many assets are we talking about giving away to get said player? But there's definitely a lot of people out there. But from what I'm hearing, man, it's like it's outrageous what I guess some of the teams are expecting to get back for certain guys. It's definitely a seller's market right now. So I think the Pels definitely end up with somebody, but we might have to keep flashing names on the screen, Q, to actually get the player we end up with. Might be on those that first list of names that you threw out there.
Yep. And we'll see how it all goes, because it's the atmosphere right now for trade talk. And as you know, February the 10th is the deadline. So the Pelicans got to move and shake. It's already January 20th. So if they're going to make a move to add to the bench, I'm not too certain about them getting a starter, because that requires the assets that you don't want to give up, because the team has a certain.
Graham would probably be a guy we would have to give up, which I don't think. I think the players would be pissed off at that.
I'm saying you don't want.
I think a lot of these guys, they're starting to really gel as a family, man. And
that's what I'm saying.
It's not all about,
do that.
I guess, talent. You want to have the best team, and sometimes personalities help with that, as opposed to just getting the most talented guy. So.
The way I feel about it is, I don't want to disturb with the synergy that they're building. I just want to add to what we have here and keep it going. Now, I severely doubt that the Pelicans are going to land a Ben Simmons or a big name player like that.
You don't think they could get a Fox or
I mean,
Tyrese Halliburton? I noticed his name isn't up there.
Yeah, because you can't really believe what Sacramento's saying. I've been reading reports that they were reneging on a lot of this stuff.
I think they're lying. They're just trying to.
You think they plan?
Well, they're trying to up the price. They're saying they came out. They clearly said they wanted to trade him.
Well, they didn't
If you
like what they
watch
was
De'Aaron
getting.
Fox's interviews, that's when I knew he was going to get traded. Maybe about a couple of months ago, and the Alvin Gentry took over, and the brother had a wild interview. He looked so disinterested and so upset. They're saying his attitude around the locker room is different.
He
Their
tired of
locker room
losing.
is a mess. Alvin
Yeah,
Gentry is trying to go home and have a drink if anybody's looking for him. It's
we knew.
completely crazy over there, Q.
Well,
So
we
so
knew,
there's
we
all of
called
this
that.
smoke.
We knew Luke Walton was not going to make it through the season. We
But
called that
I'm
before the
just saying,
season
there's all
started.
this
We knew.
smoke, and then all of a sudden we not trading him. I ain't hearing him no talk about him not wanting to go
With
no.
DC, we know we have quite the experience with dysfunctional franchises. So, I mean, dysfunctional franchises do stupid, boneheaded stuff like that. You know, they'll say these guys up, and then they'll just leak them out to see what kind, what the word on is what teams are willing to offer for them. You know, so we'll see how it all goes moving forward. But Fox is a talent. He really is. But I just don't know if the Pelicans, they would have to give up some. They would have to give up something to get him. You know, I know that the Sacramento Kings would take some of maybe one or two or maybe three of these 1,000 picks that we have here.
I don't
But
really
at the
think
end,
Sacramento angle would be picks. They definitely gonna want a
they
player,
want
especially for
personnel, and they
somebody
don't.
like De'Aaron Fox. So I'm
That's
with you there.
that's why I'm saying that I would kind of stand towards building the bench. That's what I would look at. Like Norman Powell, the family members mentioned. We talked about Norman
Oh,
Powell
no, Power
before.
would be awesome. That
I
he'd be
would,
able to be a starter though, Q.
yeah, but you can do what you want to do with Norman Powell.
He's
You can have him come
versatile.
up right. He plays multiple positions. He's really good defensively speaking. Offensively, he's a spark plug. He doesn't necessarily fit you at the point guard position, but are you? And then the question is, with these trades, when you have guys that's developing and moving into position like a Jose Alvarado, and you see how the team is responding there, you just want to be able to accentuate a piece like a Norman Powell to the mix to help them move a little further down the line. So
What about the CJ McCullough talk? Since
not
we on Power.
I,
Power.
I'm not mad at the CJ McCullough talk. I just want to find out exactly what
30 million a year.
but see, that's the thing. When the Trailblazers are not going to give McCullough away for draft picks, they're not going to do that. They want a talent for a talent, and you can add the picks with them, but they're going to want a talent. They're going to add, because if you give away McCullough, guess what? What does that do with Lillard? That's Lillard's boy. So I
You're
mean,
right.
you're gonna have to give them something. So that's the realm. It's okay. Everybody throwing out these big names here, but remember, you want to stay away from the key assets that you have, and you just want to build what you got. You know, you're working with something. You just need a little bit more oomph there. So I mean, that's what I'll be steady toward. I'll be paying attention toward that moving forward. Just getting some more players that can help out from a scoring standpoint off the bench. That's what I'm looking at, because you can see they're moving in the right direction. You just want to make sure you just keep them on that trajectory. But that's what I'm
I
looking at.
think we definitely can use a borderline starter too. Like someone like Powell, man. I think that would be excellent because certain matchups, let's even say when Zion gets back and you decide to run point Zion, and you don't want Graham out there for whatever reason, due to a defensive matchup issue at the time or whatever. It gives you what you coined a living roster. I think we need to lean more into that and have various lineups that we can run as
Appreciate you using that
starting
term.
lineups. So and a lot of these guys definitely fit that mold. The perfect player though would be DeJounte Murray. That would be the perfect guy. If I'm willing to give up something big for a player or one of those big names, it would be him. He's under contract, under a reasonable contract for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
He has the
he is. I
highest
just don't see.
upside, in my opinion,
I don't see the
of
Spurs
all of those
moving on
guys
from.
as a pure point guard, especially for this team. His defensive capabilities are through the roof. You know,
He's a good player.
he's also good friends with
But
BI.
Bi, yeah,
It just makes all the sense in the world.
yeah. But it's
If we
one
pull the
thing.
trigger
One
on a big trade, it would
right.
be him.
And Spurs have
Next,
to be interested in trading that guy.
they're
And if
not.
they are,
It's
and
all dreams and
that's what I'm
wishes.
saying. So I'm trying to wake up from the dream world. I'm not trying to go further into fantasy land. and about Ben Simmons trades and all this other stuff.
Well,
I'm being realistic.
you got to put it out there though, Q, because a lot of times with a lot of these trades, there was so many of them that we didn't think, they were really gonna happen. You know what I mean? We didn't think that really. Who would have thought Russell Westbrook was gonna go to the Lakers? That kind of came out
I
of nowhere.
mean, well,
Everybody saw.
I
Everybody
thought
saw.
it wasn't really a big surprise to me, man. The Lakers go after
So
every
you
damn body.
didn't realistically think that that the Lakers was gonna trade for Buddy Hield or something like that, because that's showing the hell what Kyle Kuzma said. He said he just knew he was going to Sacramento. He was looking at houses and the whole line. He said the trade proposal, the paperwork was all drawn up and everything. They
And
talked about it the whole time, and then all of a
they pulled
sudden
him off the
they just
shelf.
went and got Russell Westbrook.
That
So
sounds like a LeBron thing right there.
right. But I'm just
The
my
real
whole
general
point
manager
is
of the team.
my whole point is you really don't know. So I'm gonna keep my wishes as far as DeJounte Murray, and I'll never give up on Malcolm Brogdon because I think he'll be perfect as well. And obviously that might be obtainable, not really be a dream.
Well,
Not this year,
maybe
though.
next
Yeah,
year.
next year.
Maybe next year.
Well,
But
the trade exemption will still be valid next year. I think we'll still have it. So we definitely need to get off of Satoransky and get somebody. But as far as it being one of the big names, I mean, you're probably right. I see what you mean about
I
getting
don't
out of
see
fantasy land.
Yeah, I don't
But
see the big names. I'm gonna just keep it trail with you in the buck with you. I don't see the big names. I do see a smart player like a player on a Norman Powell level, which would be a good
they ain't got a
addition.
lot of guys like that. That who do you consider on his level? Because I think
I'm
he's
talking about in
a
terms
little
of
bit below those top
I
five
mean,
guys,
he's
other than Dennis
actually
Schroeder and
Norman
Marcus
Powell is
Smart.
actually a starting caliber player. I mean, but
Yeah, he is.
but he's versatile. You can use him in different ways. You can have him coming off the bench. If you need him, you can put him where you need him when you need that umph. So I mean, but the thing is also like when you're thinking about these names and these players, you got to remember that you developing people that's on the bench, and you don't want to disrupt the chemistry. And I see family members saying, don't get attached, emotionally attached, trade these players. No, man. I mean, it's not about getting
You can't do that, man.
but
Like
it's
it's
just like
about
it's
the
not like
players and how
breaking
they feel about the players too.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you remember where you're coming from, you're trying to establish a culture of winning. In order to do that, Willie Green's approach is to create a basketball family, not the BS that the octopus was spilling out, but what really something really legitimate, something really authentic is what Willie Green is building, and those people are buying into that. They're buying into the family philosophy, like we just spoke about Bi and Josh Hart, what they did for Jose Alvarado. They didn't have to do that, but they did
And
it
Jose
for him.
Is playing pretty damn good, and he
Do
can answer a
good.
lot of these questions himself.
That's a part. That's a
Honestly,
part of my explanation. DC is what I'm saying about when you look at the talent that you have, you developing these guys. You bring in the Clark, and he does what he do. He was helping out. You bring in Jose Alvarado, his defense and his mindset, and he's starting to sink in. And then of course you have Jackson Hayes, who it's just kind of how the synergy between how Jose Alvarado comes on the scene and then Jackson Hayes is his play is elevating. So I mean, you seeing the talent there go up, and these guys are playing better, and you don't want to disrupt that. You don't want to pull this out and put this there. Whatever you're gonna put there, let it accentuate what you have, so it don't affect the trajectory of where the team is going. So a Powell comes in and he can fill a need. He can either work here or he can work there. You can use Powell, and he's a spark plug offensively speaking, and he brings a lot to the team. So, like I said, I wouldn't be upset about a Powell move or something like that as we just keep going. So, like I said, the Pelicans, man, they got enough talent to make the playoffs, not win the championship by any stretch of the imagination. We're a couple of years off on that. But I do like the trajectory and where Coach Willie Green has them headed. And they really did a really good job, Coach Willie, in taking talent like Jose Alvarado and Clark and the rest of these pieces and putting them together and starting to build a team moving forward. Because we kept talking about here on the Pelican Post Game Report the fact that you have to develop a bench to win in the NBA. And the Pelicans are starting to work on that thing. So that's my temperament. That's why I'm saying Ben Simmons and Fox and all these fanciful players, man, you would have to break up some of your core to go and get these guys. And I don't see them people. I don't
Hey,
want to do that.
Mo's talking about your Peace Corps, bro. You say you on some Bulls, man. We need some better players. I guess he talking about me too.
Q,
But
this ain't the Peace Corps. Y'all on some Bulls. BS.
you said yeah,
We need some better players. Bro, listen, bro. We on the right trajectory, bro. We winning the games. And remember, people, and I don't know if I'll remember if you was one of them, Mo, saying the season was over with and all this kind of old stuff. And we kept telling you, I think Mose was riding with us. I'm not certain. But the reality was that I was telling you that the Pelicans they have been dysfunctional for years.
right.
You think you just gonna just throw people in there and they're gonna just start winning all of a sudden? No, hell, hey, we're winning games.
Well,
No, you gotta build a
player
culture.
hurt? Your best players hurt.
Right, your best players
You
hurt.
got to be realistic, man.
Right,
We
you got
ain't
BI
seen
in
half
there. You
these
build them
guys
around.
play a game with Zion. How we gonna get rid of somebody who got potential? We ain't even seen what it looked like.
This is a long range game. The long range game is, listen, you got BI there, you got Big V. Those are solid acquisitions. You got Graham there. He will get better. You discovered Herb Jones. And what you got there? Josh Hart elevated his play. He's having the best season of his career. Josh Hart stepping up. You found Jose Alvarado off the bench. Jackson Hayes is playing better. And remember, you lost KLJ. You found Jose Alvarado. So the moves is not like you taking steps back. The moves are like they're ever so climbing and moving in the trajectory that you want to see.
We like one or two
squad
players
win.
away, in my opinion, with Zion coming back.
Right, but see, I'm not even looking at the Zion thing because realistically speaking,
no, I'm just saying, like, with Zion coming back, one or two additional pieces, the Pelicans would be a championship contender. Sounds crazy, but that's why I said obviously it's gonna take time. But with one or two additional players and just the addition of Zion Williamson, they will be able to compete for an actual championship. So all they need is a quality starter / bench guy, like somebody who's borderline starter, bench guy, and you get another quality piece on the bench. Boom, you're in there.
And see, that's what I'm saying. You got BI who's playing on a higher level. Big V's playing on a higher level. Graham is and I've named all of these players that we found along the way. And you can see that the Pelicans have something going on here. They really do. You just need a little bit more help to kind of keep them on that trajectory. I am totally against destroying the team or moving pieces out to get another person to bring in here. No. We got guys that actually want to be here.
What if you can get one of those guys like a Fred VanVleet or DeJounte Murray though? Do we throw
for Graham?
Do we throw
draft
the chemistry thing and all of that out the window? What if we had to give up Graham and Josh Hart to get a guy like DeJounte Murray or Fred VanVleet?
No, I like Fred VanVleet and DeJounte Murray. I like both of those players. I think they're terrific. Number one, I don't think Toronto's going to move on from VanVleet. They don't have anybody to replace him. He's a stud.
Maybe that's the whole point.
Murray is another guy that Coach Pop he's not going to get rid of. So those guys, to me, you might have
Coach Pop about to retire, Q.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Who the next person in line thinking? What they think?
Just because Pop's retiring don't mean, let's blow the team up and get rid of our best players, Murray.
Get a bunch of picks.
DC.
Start it all over. They might adopt the process of Philly, bro.
The Sandman and sprinkle something on top of your head, bro. You done fell asleep over here talking.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Don't shoot the messenger, bro. I'm just asking some good questions.
No,
just
I'm saying,
some good questions.
And I'm gonna still keep the same message, DC, is that the fact that is fanciful. We should not disturb what we got going on here for a big name talent. Like if you have unless you remember nobody's going to surrender these talents that you're talking about for Sato and draft picks. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Mo says one or two players away. Yeah, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. DC. There you go.
We already got the Holy Son and the Father. I mean the Holy.
Listen, fam. All I'm saying
the Holy
is this.
Ghost and the Father of the team.
Y'all sit here just like I did. DC, we sat here for years and watched the Pelicans flounder,
They
trip,
ain't never looked like this. How they look now?
frustrated. No. Listen to what I'm saying before you be running and throwing all of your Rastafari mysticism around.
Oh, get out
All
of
I'm
here.
saying, all I'm saying is, look, don't violate. You're not supposed to cuss. You know that. All right. So my thing is this about what I'm saying about the Pelicans. For years, we watched the Pelicans as a total
Talking about
dysfunctional
Scott.
situation. A total dysfunctional situation for the last several seasons. They've been a joke. Nobody wants to come here. The Pelicans had to overpay to get people to come here, and then the guys don't want to be here. They won't go somewhere else.
Right.
We have talent here that are very good players who want to be here, and the Pelicans are actually doing something that older clubs didn't do. The previous administrations didn't do. Actually developed their young players, Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado, and all these other actually developing those guys to be where they're supposed to be. So I'm not for disturbing that harmony because I see what they're doing. The floor is set. The floor is set for the Pelicans to have the type of success we talked about. And they've already been through the fire. And I'm not saying that, I don't think we should disturb that. Murray is not, they're not going to get rid of Murray. They're not crazy and stupid. They're not going to get rid of Fred VanVleet. He's their best player up there. So, I mean, they're not going to get rid of the man. So, I mean, but outside that, you got Ben Simmons and all that. I don't think the Pelicans are going to end up with none of those guys. I think they're going to get a second layer player that comes that helps them off the bench. And sometimes that can come in as a starter if you need them to. So, I mean, that's what we need. We need more help to solidify the bench. It wouldn't hurt to have another scorer in there to help the Pelicans out.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
You did all that after Moses told me about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, Moses got Moses is knows, man, because the man's name is Moses. That's short for Moses. So I mean that he knows, but right now DC he called causing a split in the Red Sea, being very decisive.
But it's so many teams, man. I think we just a lot of times we're prisoners of the moment. You could look at a team like Memphis. I heard somebody talking about Memphis in the comments. I forgot what comments you made, family. But you could look at a team like Memphis.
DC?
Well, I'm gonna get to it, Q. You could look at a team like Memphis, and I'm not talking about just the John Morant version of Memphis. I'm talking about the grit and grind version of Memphis. When they put that team together, before they were winning, if somebody came out and said that, they were a player or two from contending before they got Tony Allen or whoever the last piece is that they added, it sounds crazy until you see it happen. But there's so many teams in the NBA, man, that have been contending teams or borderline championship teams. I mean, you can look at a team like Sacramento with Chris Webber, and they had all the different array of pieces that they put together over time to actually build that team up, man. And it's like, you don't always have to get some big stuff. Now, I understand I'm the person who was just capping for DeJounte Murray, but I was just asking a question to formulate a topic. And I would like to get him, but honestly, I know the Spurs ain't giving up DeJounte Murray. If they really would, then yeah, you should try to get him. But like you said, it's not realistic. But we got 2 stars. We have 2 stars. You can win a championship with 2 stars. How do you do that? You build quality pieces around them. How do you do that in a small market? You do it through the draft, and you do it with smart, efficient trades. You use the trade market like free agency, but you don't want to overpay, and you want to try to get a deal when you can. But most importantly, like you said, you want to get players that want to be here. That's my number one thing. Powell, we know for sure Powell wants to be here. Talked about it, was supposedly this close to signing with us before he went back to the Blazers.
Well, he chose the money. So if he really wanted to be here, he'd be here now. But he chose the money. But now that things ain't working out for him in Portland, of course, you know what? I want to be with y'all at first. Y'all was just tripping. We're chasing the money. So I'm not going to be mad at him on that. But yes, smart trades is something that the Pelicans have not done as well as we'd like them to do over the many years as a franchise. And what we're trying to do is we're at the precipice here where we're on a trajectory to break away from the dysfunctional franchise that we've been, the inconsistent, stanky, rotten ass franchise that we've been over the last several plus years that people make fun of, that they don't want to come here. You got to overpay for them and then all this kind of stuff. You're learning how to develop your own talent, treating your guys right, getting the right coach there, the right philosophy there that works with the players and administration. Remember, all that we didn't have all of that. We didn't have a Willie Green. We had a Stan Van Gundy who was coming off of I don't know how many years that the man didn't actually coach when he was up there tearing up Detroit Pistons franchise as a general manager.
About 4 or 5.
Okay, so that's way too long.
So,
and
no,
then of course,
maybe 3, because it was, I think 2018 might have been his.
Regardless, he did enough bad for him to be having post-traumatic syndrome, dealing with the fact that he had these draft picks that he chose that, that's absolutely insane. And of course, you had Elvin Gentry prior to that, and you see what he's doing with Sacramento and how he up there admitting that he's, he going to get a drink, all that. We've been know that, Elvin. We look at your eyes and see your shit.
But he never admitted it.
He didn't have to. We did. We knew it. I already knew. But that ain't the point. What I'm saying is we're finally in a position after all of that madness that we went through, that we could not develop our own talent, that we couldn't do, and even to the point where the Pelicans now own a G League team where they can develop talent. And the team is not, and it's in Birmingham. So the Pelicans are on the right trajectory. We want to tell all that up for a name? They got good players. And remember, your best player or the big name player like DC talking about Ja Morant, who is the franchise talent, who's carrying the team.
To Memphis, brother.
I got what you're saying.
Let me just say one point. I didn't get to finish that point.
How you going to get to finish the point when you gave me the mic, brother?
Point. You cut me off on my point I was making.
Brother, that's not true. But you know what I was about to go at you with. That's why you won't hop your ass up in there and then start talking. You know where I was going, huh? You know what? Go ahead.
But I mean, you bring up an interesting point with Memphis, and the only thing I really wanted to say, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and continue on your triad, was that Memphis.
My what?
Don't worry about it. Went over your head. But Memphis was a team, when you looked at their roster and you looked at the pieces that they had, nobody saw them doing what they're doing right now, including us. Including us. You know what I mean? We did win the Jonas Valanciunas trade,
the
but
media told
they
you
obviously knew Steven Adams would work with what they was trying to do.
Hold on, the media told you. They said, man, the Memphis Grizzlies, look out for the Grizzlies. They're going to win 45 games or whatever it was.
They didn't say they was going to do what they're doing right now. Okay.
The media said that the Grizzlies they were going to win some games. Now, come on, let's be fair.
But wait, okay, whatever. But my whole point is, it's not making my point. I got you. I agree. I don't disagree. My thing is, you take Ja Morant off that team, and Memphis went 10-1. And name the players. They ain't no big name dudes.
No, they're not.
So
Steven Jackson,
you get the right collection of guys where their skill sets match.
What's the name?
Huh?
Steven Adams. I'm sorry, I said
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams. Yeah, you proved that. There you go. Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks.
Drawing a blank.
No, I got it.
Kyle
Dylan
Anderson.
Brooks. Kyle Anderson, former Spur. Yeah, they got some players there.
Hey,
you got to think about it a little bit.
They good, but they're not. You ain't naming no names that's gonna just blow your doors away.
No, you got to know basketball. You got to know basketball to know some of them guys, DC.
Right. It's about putting the team together that the skill sets match first and foremost. And obviously, I'm sure them brothers get along, or they don't have a lot of locker room issues. So that is a big part of it. And they already had an identity because Memphis had a culture of grit and grind. That's why I started.
Yeah. They can tap into
our culture that we tried to build, and it just got, demolished, and we had to start all over. So chemistry is a big thing. Culture is a big thing. People will say culture don't contribute to winning, but you show me a championship team that ain't had no culture.
It's a big part of culture is a big part of it, man. It really is. Because when you're struggling, you can tie right back into that thing. And you're right about Memphis. Memphis for many years was successful because of the grit and grind formula that they had there.
They say
And
you're on that ginger juice, Q.
the Heavenly Hill,
Yeah,
that
your eyes
radiator
glossy.
fluid.
Your eyes glossy.
No, I wouldn't be able to talk if I was on that Heavenly Hill, man. You just be doing like DC's guy. What's his name?
Put your
DC
lip. You gotta put your lip all like.
Didi Luzada, and just
Oh,
smile
come on!
and
Why
just
you do
thumbs up.
Didi like that, bro? Why you do Didi like that, bro?
I'll be like Didi Luzada, man. You want some chicken, Didi? You want some drink with that?
That's cool, bro.
But now, anyway, listen, man. Let's just make this point that we'll close the stream down. But you're right. Culture, man, is everything. I mean, because culture ties to the history and things you can always link back to that. And we don't have that. I mean, we have a few winning seasons in there, but it's too far and few in between. But the Pelicans have garnered the reputation of being a jokey franchise with a lion octopus on top of it. So we need to change that. And we did that with Willie Green. So you bring Willie Green in here and he legitimizes things because Willie Green was such a loved character, throughout the NBA and so loved and respected that when you bring Willie here, that say, okay, damn, the Pelicans got Willie Green and now he's teaching these young players around him. He can communicate. He's a good motivator. He handles the media really well. He's respectful. And I don't know nobody in the NBA that don't like Willie Green. I mean, the dude is terrific. He's awesome. And he came here with the doctrine and love. He talked about we're going to win with love and we're going to win with through joy in that other day. Drew joy in there. So it's nice love and joy. So we done elevated up now the emotional spectrum. So there it is. But yeah, I like the trajectory of where the team is headed. And remember, he is not just winning, he's actually building the culture here. And then of course, when you get Zion back 100%, then you'll see it really take off with B.I., Zion, Big V, Graham, and whoever they add to the mixture. So we're still a first year Willie Green stuff here. And listen, bro, and I'm gonna let you have it, DC. But it's a big task for him to turn around and win this thing.
Shifted a little bit. But speaking of that, with the way we looked against the damn Knicks, why is everybody still talking about like Zion won't go to the Knicks?
I don't know.
What the hell would he want to go to the Knicks? They're not a better team than us.
Because of the comment he made that comment.
That he loved to play.
That he loves to play in.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Kobe said a similar thing.
Yeah, but yeah,
I remember Michael Jordan saying stuff like that too.
Yeah, he tear up the place. He just run right through, and it's like a fun place to play. But of course, you don't have to. You give them an inch, and they'll take a mile on that. Oh, he done assembled DC's guy Cam Reddish up there with RJ Barrett. Now you waiting for Zion. Now forget about it. It's not going to happen. Zion Williamson is not going anywhere else except
Cam Reddish contract up this year. Who say he even stay?
I'm not going to get into that with you. All I'm going to say is this about Zion Williamson is that Zion is not going anywhere. Zion Williamson will be a Pelican. The Pelicans will be in the playoffs this year. I ain't saying they're winning no championships. We're not saying that. But what I'm telling you is the Pelicans will make the playoffs this year. They will make the playoffs because of solid coaching from Willie Green, the team buying in. And, of course, that octopus is going to eventually bring in enough talent to help the Pelicans bench get where they need to be. So, like I said, I think we headed in the right direction, man. It won't happen overnight, but we headed in the right direction.
That's true. Young blood, 46. Big Q DC. Seriously, why couldn't Zion stay in New Orleans and rehab at one of Ochsner's facilities? They have top-notch doctors there. Me personally, man.
The emoji?
Yeah, I tried, but my camera like a little small. I couldn't hit it right.
Okay, I got you.
I know it looked kind of crazy. I want, I tried. It was a fail, but I tried. But
No, you ain't failed. It was all right. I got you.
yeah, but why are we acting like Louisiana got the best damn doctors in the country, bro? Just stop it, young blood. You know for a fact, and I know for a fact that the cancer research was so horrible here. We had to rebuild a whole multi-billion-dollar facility because we was like last in the country with that.
Who
If
said
you
it was
research,
bad?
huh?
It might have been. It might have fit the purposes of what they were attempting to do.
Okay, I agree. I agree. But stand on the lighter side of
You're
things.
trying to kill $1 billion industry, DC. What you $1 trillion industry? What you trying to do? Put all the people out of work?
Stop wearing aluminum with your deodorant. That might help. But on the other side of things, for as sports medicine, man, well, all the guys that got all the mega money, your LeBrons, KDs, where they all go when they get hurt? Everybody goes somewhere on the
Out
West
west.
Coast. So when it happens to KD, LeBron, all these other guys, it's never a story. But because it's us and it's our guy, it's the biggest deal ever. Now I understand the story dropped about the strength and conditioning coach that's actually with them, with Zion from LSU, that got fired from LSU for 2 months for reasons unknown and all this bullshit. To me, it's just a bunch of BS. And truth be told, they say the same guy had been traveling with the team prior to that anyway. So maybe just maybe, even though he ain't on the Pelicans official roster or their payment thing or whatever, but just maybe he's still one of our guys that's with Zion. Is that crazy to believe? So anybody else, bro, it's not a big deal. So the fact that he's not rehabbing here, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And if you actually look at our injury track record with taking care of guys and taking care of their injuries, we have a horrible track record as far as Louisiana, period, with a lot of different stuff. Now, Miss Benson went, put a top-notch facility in there with the Pelicans. We got Aaron Nelson from the Suns and all of that, and we've been turning that around. But not too long ago, I remember when Drew Holiday hurt his abdominal, guess where he went? He went back to L.A., and nobody said nothing. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of that is just, hype and people drawing up stories. But when you look at all of these players around the league, man, and when they get certain injuries, they're going to go find specific doctors and specific places or facilities where they could get the best possible treatment they could get for that injury, regardless if that's where they team at or not.
Yeah, it also could be the fact that
The Nike facility, too, in Portland, that's probably way better than ours. $1 billion facility.
Well, I get what Young Blood's saying about him staying around the team and rehabbing, but I get both accounts. My thing is, I don't have an issue with Zion Williamson going to get healthy. Based on everything that has happened since the injury, they announced the injury. And then, of course, the various setbacks, the fact that he had to get a shot in the foot to kind of help. I mean, it's just been one thing after the other. It's not like he just jumped off the porch and said, "I'm going to Portland." The first time. And this is if you go back and remember the history. And that's the good thing about us, is that we got a good memories on this show. Because if you keep that good memory, it'll help you beat a lot of what's going on nowadays. Because they trying to a lot of the stuff that come out nowadays, they're attacking you like you don't have no memory. They think they're just going to fluster you with information. Most of it's useless information, lies. And they keep moving on to the next day thinking you won't remember. But if you have a memory, then you'll be able to beat them 8 ways from Tuesday. But anyway,
right.
I don't have an issue with Zion Williamson saying this, that he wants to go into Portland to train. I really don't. Being that he was rehabbing originally with the team since the time when he hurt broke his foot. But now I don't have a problem with it, family. And obviously, if you watch how the Pelicans been playing over, since a lot of the stuff, since the year turn and how they've been winning at home, they don't really have a problem with it. That's not to say that Zion is out of their minds, but they know that Zion needs to get 100%, then come back and holler at us. We know you love us. We know you with us. We know you're going to be here, but let the man go out and get healthy and come on back. And it just goes to show you, man, that's why, independent media, platforms like ours and many others are so pivotal, because, man, you need something to go against these people with all of this drivel out here. A lot of these media operators, they're just writing articles and just blasting the man. And sometimes you need somebody, because most of them guys, they can't even go back at them people. Sometimes they just got to take it and just shake their head. With us, we can respond and tell your ass up. And that's the really cool part about having it. Like, if they say some BS, you can go right back at them and handle the business. But I don't have a problem with Zion. I think it's good that Zion Williamson is going somewhere where he can get his body right and get back where he feels he needs to be. While this is going on, the Pelicans will be about the business of winning games and getting this team to the playoffs, because we have enough studs and guys on the squad where we can get to the playoffs. And when the trade come in, we'll add a piece or here or there, and let's keep this thing moving, man. We right where we supposed to be. And Zion, he'll come back. Eventually he'll get healthy and come back. Who knows if it's this year? We'll see. Depends on how fast he heal and many other factors. But at the end of the day, man, I still feel like we where we supposed to be, and we headed in the right direction. It takes some stuff. Remember, and like I said, I remember all of that, the losing, all of the repetitive losing of the games, and being close, beating teams by double digits, and then losing the game on the back end, and then you be like, man, damn, and then it's twisting your emotions up and all that, man. Listen, we finally got to a place where the team is rising, man. You see it. And we're going to be fine. So don't let all that other stuff get in your eyes, bro. So appreciate the question.
Facts.
All right, DC, that'll be the last
Definitely
one.
agree
Then we
with
got to
that.
close out, my brother.
What? Or you want to read that comment I had up
Nah,
there?
you just whatever one you got.
Go ahead with my man Giovanni. Said by time Zion comes back, a lot of the kinks are already going to be worked out in the system. And that's true, man. I mean, Zion is pretty much a plug and play player. I think he's capable of playing with anybody. Brandon Ingram, when we first got him, I wouldn't have said the same thing, but now BI is pretty much turned into that. He can play with anybody and adapt his game and have it be mesh with anybody. So that's usually what stars do. So if all the role players can figure out how to play amongst each other, and then you add Zion into that and take some of that load off of BI, which is obviously going to make him better and more efficient. Telling you, man, you playing with fire. I'm really tweaking to see what Devontae Graham would look like with Zion. So that's a guy who can probably take it to another level, like we keep wanting him to do or expecting, because he gets open shots now, but they'll be even more open. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that I think will change with just Zion coming back, especially what Giovanni said right there, because dude's working the kinks out, and you got BI, you working off these double teams, BI, and he's kicking it to him. Can you imagine what a triple team will look like? Because they're gonna triple team Zion, right? After he down him in the paint, they got to triple team him. So how they gonna stop BI? You know what I'm saying? When BI kick it out to somebody, it's really ain't gonna be nobody over there. So it becomes even that much easier, and it becomes super easy after you used to playing the game on hard, and now you put it on average. So all of the guys we complaining about, are we saying they should do this and be that and be this or be better? They're gonna be even better when you add another layer to it, and a guy like Zion, along with whoever we trade for. And if Zion doesn't play if we hit it in the draft again and draft a good player that fits another need that we need as well.
Yeah, so it's a moving factors here, a lot of factors involved, but there's a lot of development going on too. And you see a lot of improvement. I mean, BI's game, how he stepped his game up, and most of the other people that's really helping the Pelicans win, man. So like we're saying, we just keep it going, man. We just keep it going, and we should be all right. All right, so with that being said, man, listen, I like to thank all you guys for chiming in on this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you for stopping by. As the Pelicans are victorious, they knock off the Knicks 102-91 and in the 2-game losing skid that we were on and getting the win and then getting back on the right side of things. Pelicans will have a 4-day rest the next time they come back to this thing. It'll be on the 24th against the Indiana Pacers. And this should be a win for the Pelicans, and we just got to handle the business, man. We got to go about the business of basketball and take care of the Pacers and keep climbing, man. But
That's
yeah,
right.
I'm very motivated about the Pelicans, the direction they're on. I love what's going on, man, for real. And you should love it too, fam. I mean, this is what
That's
you
right.
want. And Coach Willie it took him a while, man, but he got this team playing really good basketball. And
We
we're not
about
perfect, but
8
we on the
games
way.
away from 500, 8 or 9 games away from 500, man. Just take a little winning streak here and then another winning streak there. Totally different conversation, family.
There you go. All right. So with that being said, I'd like to thank all you guys for tuning in on the broadcast. Please feel free to hit the like button if you hadn't already. Hit the like button. Please feel free to share the show's link in your social media feed. And feel free to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and join the Pelican Post Game Report, man. We in the building. Much love to the fam. So I appreciate y'all for chiming in. We'll be back. Let's probably the weekend, or we'll probably do a Friday stream or something like that. Just hit the notifications bell, family, so we can be able to do that as well. And we'll talk some Pelican stuff and with the family members and open up the phone line. So we'll run that through and see how that goes. All right, so with that being said, much love to the fam. DC, appreciate you, my brother, and I'll holler at you later. Go Pels.
Peace.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That and